All-out battle. Ukrainian brigades attacked thousands of Russian troops trapped in eastern Ukraine. A month after launching a major counteroffensive outside the free city of Kharkiv in eastern Ukraine, the Ukrainian army is on the cusp of achieving one of its main near-term objectives, capturing the Russian logistics hub in the town of Lyman, just north of the Donets River, 85 miles southeast of Kharkiv. If and when Lyman falls, and it's looking likely that could happen in the coming days, the Russian army will lose a critical railway juncture. Considering how heavily the Russians lean on trains for routine supply, losing Lyman is a big deal. Without Lyman, the Kremlin will have to reconfigure its logistics in eastern Ukraine's Donbass region. And while it does, many battalions currently clinging to defensive positions across the northern part of Donbass could starve and weaken. The first couple weeks of Ukraine's eastern counteroffensive were a rout. A dozen Ukrainian brigades punched through gaps in Russian lines, gaps that appeared when the Kremlin began shifting forces from the east to the south in order to meet another Ukrainian counteroffensive targeting Russian-occupied Kherson, a strategic port on the Black Sea coast. In a heady 2 weeks, the Ukrainian brigades outside Kharkiv wrecked an elite Russian tank army as well as that army's partner division, and also beat a large reserve formation that Moscow had spent the summer raising. Thousands of Russian troops fled east across the Oskil River, leaving behind hundreds of tanks, fighting vehicles, and howitzers. A frantic bid by the Russian Air Force to slow the Ukrainian advance ended in disaster for the Russians. Ukrainian air defenses, including newly delivered ex-German Gepard mobile guns, shot down 4 Russian jets in a single day on Saturday. After clearing Kharkiv Oblast all the way to the Oskil River and crossing the river in at least 5 places in order to secure lodgements for future advances, Ukrainian brigades pivoted south toward Lyman. Separately, Ukrainian forces crossed the Donets River south and east of Lyman in order to begin an envelopment of the city. That envelopment began to close on Thursday when, according to Russian correspondent Semyon Pegov, Ukrainian forces north of Lyman cut across the main road from Drobyshiv to Torsky, a few miles to the east. Drobyshiv is a small settlement northwest of Lyman and a key defensive position for the Russian garrison in the area. The situation is extremely difficult, Pegov wrote. The roughly 3,000 Russian troops in Lyman might still have a way out along the road to Zurich, to the east, but the troops in Drobyshiv, potentially hundreds of them, could struggle to escape. They'd need to travel south, likely while under fire, before turning east toward Zurich. The end game, in this sector of the front in a war with several fronts, is playing out by the hour. There is a tough fight going on, Pegov wrote. But the outcome isn't really in doubt. Meanwhile, Kiev's army is within striking distance of the key strategic city of Lyman, which serves as an important supply hub on the western edge of the Donbass. Vladimir Putin faces a humiliating military setback in the Donbass as Ukrainian forces close in on the capture of a key strategic city. Kiev's forces have sought to continue their forward momentum after their devastating counterattack on the Kharkiv front. Ukrainian units have succeeded in crossing the Oskil and Seversky Donets rivers and are now advancing further eastwards. The Ukrainian push is threatening parts of Luhansk province that the Russians painstakingly took during the summer. Luhansk and Donetsk provinces make up the Donbass, the conquest of which became a major war goal for Putin after he was forced to abandon his attempts to capture Kiev. Although Russia's army was able to take full control of Luhansk, it has failed to do the same in Donetsk and is now struggling to contain a powerful Ukrainian offensive in the province. Kiev's army is within striking distance of the key strategic city of Lyman, which serves as an important supply hub on the western edge of the Donbass. The Ukrainians hope to use it as a gateway to push further east and continue their momentum as they seek to liberate Donetsk and Luhansk from the Russian occupiers. Recent reports confirm fierce fighting around the town of Drobyshiv, which is located just 5 miles northwest of Lyman. A Russian officer from the Bars 13 unit told the military blogger Wargonzo that the situation around Drobyshiv had become critical and that his troops faced being cut off. The officer said, "We are defending Drobyshiv. They are so close to our positions that we can see and hear them. Yesterday we evaluated our troops from Novoselivka because we didn't have the strength to hold it. We regrouped and are defending Drobyshiv, but the situation is critical. Our opponents are using helicopters, large munition artillery 120mm and 155mm, as well as UAVs.
Push up left! Push up left! Keep it up, Dylan!